right, guys, we are live. My name is Steve Lavick. I am part owner over at Beyond Measure Fitness in Naperville, and I'm here with Dr. David Bokermann of Recover RX of Naperville. And we're getting on today because we want to talk about something that we hear a ton. We work with a lot of people that deal with low back pain, and something that both of us hear a lot is when clients come in to see us is they say that I just need to strengthen my core. Okay, and so today we want to kind of dive a little bit deeper with that and kind of discuss, okay, what does that really mean? And specifically, what does that mean as it relates to back pain and potentially preventing injuries or helping pain get better as it relates to core strength? So from here, let's start the chat here, David. It's going to be a challenge for both of us to keep this brief, but let's do our best. So let's chat about it.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for having me on. Like you mentioned, I think back pain in general, probably one of the number one things we see as a PT provider. I think the stats we learned in grad school is 90% of people are going to experience low back pain. And I think the number one thing that patients come in with is, I know my core is weak. In order to kind of solve my problem, I have to have a strong core to kind of resolve this issue. And for me as a therapist, I mean, my role is always, kind of delving deeper into the why. Okay, why do you feel like it's weak? What experiences have you had in the past that weakness led into this issue? And so for us, our bread and butter is kind of figuring out the why behind a patient's pain presentation, and then what avenue of treatment that we believe, based upon the deficits that they have, are going to align with their goals and align with kind of getting them better. So core strength is always a variable that we can kind of pull from, because in anything, with weightlifting, with exercise, with recreation, just from a mechanical standpoint, your proximal stability is going to allow for distal mobility, right? And so, yeah, we always want to have a strong foundation. But for us, we want to apply the concept of understand the why, understand, is this an avenue that weakness is a driver of the pain symptom? And then what type of progression do we have to add in, right? Our mentality is always like, we don't want to throw a strength kind of resolution on a mobility problem, right? We don't just want to add on a layer of protection if it's a guarding or a nerve problem, right? And so I think for you, comments on like, how do you feel like progression of the core helps your clients, get to where they want to go?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people come in, like I said, they'll say, I just need to work on my core. And you and I both know that there's a lot more that goes into low back pain than just the core, right? But let's assume that that is the case, that everything else is okay, their hip mobility is fine, and
Yep.
everything else is they're active, and
Ideal.
they somehow just have a weak core. Um, you know, for me, some of the most effective things are so incredibly simple. Exercises like the bird dog and figuring out appropriate side plank progressions and regressions that provide the appropriate challenge. And if it is just simply the core, it's kind of amazing how quickly symptoms can start to go down when you start activating, the right areas. Um, it like we both know, it's rarely the case where it's just the core that's causing the issue. But when you figure out when you take the approach like you mentioned earlier, when you really take the time to figure out the why behind the cause of the pain, I mean, in my experience, it's kind of amazing how quickly you can find a solution and get people out of that pain. We both know the nervous system is so incredibly powerful, and the human body is built to be resilient, right? And it's kind of amazing how quickly people respond. So all right, guys. So like I said, we could talk probably for 2 hours about this, but we just want to kind of get the conversation going because we are going to do an in-person workshop in a couple weeks. That's coming up on the 22nd, Saturday, at noon at our gym at Beyond Measure Fitness, Naperville. So we're going to be diving a little bit deeper in these topics. If you're interested, if you're somebody that's dealing with some back pain, if you've had chronic back pain in the past and you don't want it to come back, going over strategies that are going to help make you more resilient to these types of issues. So with that, guys, we're going to invite you to come to the workshop. We might have a couple, goodies, some special offers for those who can attend. There will be a link down below here to register. So go ahead and register, and hopefully we'll see you